What's up, everyone? Welcome back to episode 32 of the You Might Be Surprised podcast. What's up, everyone? How's it going? How's it hanging? Left, right? Let me know. It's currently it is December 31st at 8:46 p.m. and I'm recording this going into New Year's Eve, dude. Going into New Year's Eve. What a year it has been for all of us. And I can't wait to put this year in the past, and I can't wait to see what happens in 2021. I don't know, man. I'm nervous. I'm scared. I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't. I'm convinced that we're going to wake up tomorrow and either the aliens are going to touch down or a volcano is going to erupt. Either or. And honestly, if those two things happen, I don't know if it would be as bad as what happened this year. Just saying. But let's get this out of the way. My socials, you can follow me at YMBS _ Chris on both Twitter and the Instagram. And you can also follow me, follow just the podcast. You Might Be Surprised. You can follow that on Instagram, YouTube, and it's also the podcast is available anywhere and everywhere that you get your podcasts. So let's get right into the episode, guys. Let's get right into the episode. Before I hop into all the funny stuff that I've written down or the things I want to talk about, I created that second channel I talked about I think 2 podcasts ago, because last podcast I was in my feels. I talked about my depression and the goals that I have set for 2021. I gotta stop saying 2020. Gotta stop saying 2020 because fuck 2020. But for real though, I'm gonna take a step. I feel like I talk too quick, and I feel like I reinvented the wheel for my podcast too. But going off on 2 different subjects here. But that second channel is just my name, Chris Lynch, and what that channel is gonna be about is I really like YouTube videos. Like, I really do. Like, most of my free time is spent watching, like, travel vloggers, photography, cinematography, and I really enjoy that. So, not saying I'm going to become a travel photographer, but the second channel is more for, like, vlogs and sit-down type of stuff. I actually was watching one today, and I was watching Cody Warner, hashtag no small creator. If you know, you know. But I was watching one of his older vlogs, and I came up with the idea that good conversation trumps everything. And then that made me think of like the power of podcasting, like how, like, the reason why I like podcasting so much is because of how down to earth it is. It's just you and your voice. That I just like that concept, and I was like, oh, I should record a podcast today going into 2021, and that's what I'm doing right now. Well, I'm sipping on some Buffalo Trace, dude. I finally got some Buffalo Trace. If you listened a couple episodes back, I was like, dude, Buffalo Trace is the shit. And I actually have a really large ice cube in here that you can't see. So I feel like I'm sipping whiskey the proper way. But yeah, that second channel is pretty cool. If you like vlogs and things like that, I suggest you follow that, because I'm going to upload more of it. But also staying to the roots of the podcast. Like I said, 1 episode a week for the whole year, and I want to collaborate with more podcasters and more like-minded people. So if you're listening to this and you have a podcast, let's connect. I'm also going to try to reach out and get my name out there a little bit more. I think half the battle of starting a podcast is just actually starting, and then next, like, oh, this is actually pretty simple. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, dude? But 2021. 2021. With everything going on, like the COVID vaccine that is supposedly, so like when they say that there's a COVID vaccine, my first mind's like, oh, it's gonna be fixed, but in reality, it's actually just dumbing down the strong symptoms of COVID, so you can still catch COVID. You're just not gonna get all the terrible symptoms. It's kind of like the flu, I guess, like the flu shot, and like it makes sense. But I feel like everybody was like, "Oh, we're gonna get the COVID vaccine, and things are gonna go back to normal, and 2021 is gonna be reinvented." And I don't know if that's gonna be the case. I really don't, because like it's the first time in a long time where I hope the sequel sucks compared to the first movie. I don't want 2021 to be bad. And it's not like it wasn't bad for me. Like selfishly, it wasn't bad for me. 2020 was honestly one of the best years for me because I was enlightened. I was enlightened of like what I am and like what I need to become, and I bettered myself emotionally, which is something for me. Like I was fortunate to work all throughout the year. But one of the things that is scary for me, if things do start getting better, is I have spent every weekend pretty much in my room, not having a social life. Like I've been single the whole year of 2020, besides the first month and a half. Okay. But besides that, I've been single, and my game is terrible. And I'm nervous because I don't know how to flirt anymore. I don't know how to flirt anymore. So 2021 might look up for some people, but for me, I'm lost. I was pouring my drink, and I was thinking to myself that I don't even think that I could properly hit on a girl in 2021. Tomorrow. I don't think I can properly hit on a girl tomorrow. If they said, "Hey, everything's open, you can do whatever the hell you want," and I was like, "Oh, I'm going to go to the bar with my friends," and I saw a cute girl from across the bar, I'm SOL. I don't know what I would do. Like my social interaction is terrible. I saw a guy at the grocery store today not wearing a mask, and my heart rate bumped up. Okay? So imagine semi tipsy Chris is going across the bar to talk to a girl. Like I don't even know what I would say. Like, "Hey, come here often?" Obviously not. "Hey, do you d- uh, did you lose your job? Because I can help you not have one, or I can help you get one. Hey, I know you might have lost your job, but you I can employ you. Hey, I know 2020 wasn't looking up for you, but I can look up for you for about 5 minutes." It's not happening. It's not happening, and I've been getting back on my Tinder game, dude. And yeah, that's also depressing. Also, I feel like every person who has Tinder has bought Tinder Gold. Like, there's no person that sits on Tinder without Tinder Gold, because you see that, right? Right? Hear me out. So you see it, and it says 99 plus likes if you're a baller like I am. All right? All right. And here's where they get you. They're like, "Oh, for $15 a month, you can see who likes you." And you who haven't gotten a like in about a week and a half. And it's like, "Oh, there's 99 people here that like you." Right? So you're like, I just got paid. It's $15. I just won't eat Chipotle tomorrow, right? It's fine. And you buy it, and then you look at the 100 plus likes that you have, and you realize that it's all the people you swiped left on. Right? Like, don't, like, Tinder doesn't put that away. Like, they don't, like, delete those people that you swipe left on. They just put it in the notifications to make you buy it. That's 2020. Tinder Gold is 2020. It's fake. I don't know where I'm going with that. And my little tip, you get in there. And my little tip, get in there. But if you are going out tonight, don't know how I feel about that. I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, if you're socially distanced, doesn't really matter, I guess. I'm reinventing the wheel of my podcast just a little bit before we continue on with me not being able to talk to girls. So before I would write the topics, and I would I would think about what I was gonna say, and then it wouldn't come freely to my mind whenever I was sitting down doing the podcast, because I would think about it too much. I was like, oh, what did I think about? So now I just write the bullet points, and I'll go back to it, and then all this stuff just flows out. Happy New Year's Eve, talked about that. Social settings, I don't think. Oh yeah, so like, besides my terrible Tinder game, like, what could be the most horrific things that could happen in 2021 that hasn't already happened? Like, we've faced a mass virus. We've had riots across our streets. We can't trust politics. And what else could happen? Now, as a 24-year-old, the first thing that comes to my mind is aliens and somebody realizing that we live in a simulation. Or I've been watching a lot of Westworld. I think this would be even more crazier than a simulation theory. Or aliens is that the people around us aren't actually humans, they're actually robots, and we've actually just been living in a fake world, which is kind of like a simulation. But that's like the only thing I can see getting crazier than what has happened, besides nuclear bombings, besides the Chinese saying, hey, we thought we could take you out with a virus, JK, here's a nuke. That's the only thing I can think to get worse. And like, the aliens thing is possible. If you guys don't follow Joe Rogan, oh, I forgot the Two Bears One Cave live tonight. I'll have to tune into that. But I wonder when that is actually. I'll figure that out later. I'm recording a podcast, dude. I don't need to talk about other podcasts. If you didn't see the Joe Rogan post, right? Where was it? So in the COVID-19 bill that was passed like a couple days ago, supposedly in like the fine print states that in 180 days we're gonna get UFO disclosures. Let me just read you what Joe Rogan said if you haven't seen it. I'm sure you did. Seriously, how weird is it that they slipped this into a COVID-19 relief bill? I have a feeling 2020 is going to be strange as fuck. Could not agree more with you, Joe. President Trump's signature Sunday on the $2.3 trillion COVID-19 relief government funding bill. I can't talk today. Started a 180-day countdown for the Pentagon and the spy agencies to say what they know about UFOs. That's a little crazy. The provisions received very little attention, and part of it being because it was a 5,593 page legislation. So in 5,593 pages of this $2.3 trillion COVID-19 relief government funding bill, they were like, hey, also, by the way, we need to know. Like, it's been, like, when did Reagan, I think it was Reagan, was it Reagan's speech about aliens? I think it was Ronald Reagan who had that, discusses in 1987 or 1985, it was somewhere between 85 and 88. Reagan had a speech where he was like, "Hey, there's there's forces outside of our world." That's not exactly what he said, but he said something along those lines. So it's been 40 plus years, give or 33, 34 plus years. We gotta know. I'm just saying, we gotta know. Also, my math on that was probably terrible. But yeah, that's just like, I saw that and that made me think, like, what could actually be worse than what happened? And honestly, anything's possible at this point. I don't think we're going back to any sort of normal reality, normal style of living anytime soon. And as a 24-year-old who already has anxiety about what he needs to do in life, that freaks me out and also is a sigh of relief, because it freaks me out not knowing like what could happen, but the sigh of relief is like, oh, if these things are crazier than like what's happening and there's bigger forces aligned and we are just a bunch of apes on a floating rock flying through space, then what I do doesn't really matter. And that gives a big relief off of my shoulder, because then I could be like, oh, I can do what I want more or less. Like, if I don't want to go to work one day, like I'm gonna take off work. Or like, hey, I should stop pursuing a high paying career and just go out and take photos for the rest of my life and be happy with that. Because part of me wants a high paying career, the other part of me wants to be creative, and that's why I'm doing a podcast. Drinking whiskey, dude. But we can move on from 2021. Just kidding. Yeah. Just kidding. I looked at my other note. Just kidding. I thought it was time to move past 2021. Psych. Just kidding. Also, how many posts are we gonna see in the next like month that's like, oh my gosh, God forbid, good riddance 2020. Did I post that today? Yes. But how many posts are we gonna see past today? I feel like it's okay today to be like, good riddance. See ya. Also, New Year's Eve this year is so lame. It's the first year I haven't done anything. I'm sitting by myself, sipping whiskey, talking to a camera and speaking into a mic, talking about a whole bunch of different random shit. It's just, but the other thing I have written down here is, can we uncancel some people that were canceled in 2020? Like, I feel like 2020 has been so terrible, right? It's just been so terrible. Like, can't we just like uncancel like some people? Now, for me, you guys probably know who I'm talking about. Like, can we just uncancel Chris D'Elia? Like, please. Like, I get it. It's terrible. He's a piece of shit. But I miss his podcasts. I really do. And also, I don't think that his allegations were proven true. And I also don't think that they were proven guilty. So it puts me in that fine line of just like, dude, I miss his podcasts. I really do. Like I haven't his podcast. I just miss that dude, and that's just the only thing. Like I could care about anybody else. If you were canceled in 2020, you deserve it. But Chris D'Elia, eh. You know? Now, to make a joke about it, Chris D'Elia would say 2020 didn't make a dent, but actually it really did on his career. It really did on his career, dude. And I don't know if he's coming back, and it makes me depressed because I miss the dude. But also, there's people outside shooting fireworks. Hey, go to bed. Why are you shooting off fireworks? There's nothing to celebrate this year. Go to bed. Kind of talked about this, that. Oh, we can talk about something kind of funny. So last podcast I said I go to therapy, and I've been going to therapy for almost a year now. And like I've been like having these like not come to Jesus moments, but like kind of come to fruition of like what I need to be doing to better my life. Cause like at first I was going there to deal with my problems, and now like I have those hashed out, and I know why I get nervous around people. It's because people used to make fun of my stutter, and now I'm making a podcast, trying to do that. So everything comes full circle. But I was there on Tuesday of this week, and I was like, no matter, because I've been having this like back and forth of like what I want to do, and no matter like what route I went down, I always come back to the same decision of like, oh, I just kind of want to be famous. I don't know why. It's just like I like the idea of social media, and I like the idea of like posting and sharing myself. And like that's why I'm dedicating this year to creating and bettering myself that way, and doing whatever I can to do that. But also it's just like I thought about buying office space. Thought about buying an office space because I was like, oh, I can just go there. It'll be a place for me to record my podcast. A place where I can just be creative. And then I was talking to my friend about it, and he was like, no, I don't think it's a dumb idea, but if you're not making the money to pay for it, you're just wasting away the money. I was like, yeah, you're right. And I was like, I could just do the stuff that I do here, like now, but it's just like I don't know. It's just like I'm just obsessed with the idea. That's why like I need to collaborate more with people, dude. I need to collaborate more with people. Dude, Buffalo Trace is so good. So good. I love it. I love it. Shout out to Bert Kreischer and Andrew Santino for getting me hooked on Buffalo Trace. And it's so damn hard to find. Ooh, Peace Pirate Life added to the store. Peace out 2020. Peace out, dog. Peace out. What else is on my list? Oh, so going back to like the like being creative and like bettering myself all throughout this year. Last night I couldn't sleep, right? And I couldn't sleep because I couldn't sleep last night because I don't know, I just like when you have those like deep thoughts, dude. And when I was having these deep thoughts, I got a blender for Christmas. And I found out today that a blender and a juicer are two different things. So I went to the store today, and I searched up last night. I was like green juice, like juicing, like a detox. I just felt like I needed to try this. Like, oh, I'm going to start out 2020 right. Also, fireworks are still going off. Why? But I need to start off 2020 right, dude. All right. Went to the store, bought all the green drink stuff. And then my sister was like, are you sure you didn't look up a juicer recipe? I was like, but it's a blender. Like it's gonna go into drink format no matter what. And so like the recipe like counted for like 6 kale leaves, a cucumber, 6 stalks of celery. Just say 6 pieces of celery. Um, half a lemon, 2 apples, and I think that was it. And it was definitely a juicer recipe. So I blended that all up, and it tasted god awful. And it had the consistency of a smoothie, dude. And when I put that on my mouth and I drank it, eh, I almost threw up. I almost threw up. However, I was able to strain some and just drink the juice part, and it was a little better. But like I wasted $10 on juicing, and I was like, "Oh, is this how 2021's gonna go?" I think it is, and I think it is. Um, And yeah, there's oh yeah. Speaking of comedians, because I started this as a comedy podcast, and I started because I listened to comedian podcasts a lot. Shut up, giant ice cube. Um I watched Andrew Schulz's special that he has, and if you weren't keeping up with him through Corona, he pretty much won 2020. Like his mind was like, oh, I have to stay at home. I'm just gonna create. And I wish I was in that position where I had the money. I was getting money from creating because I had so many good ideas that I couldn't act on. Maybe I'm making excuses. My therapist also says that I go back and forth on a lot of things, which I do. But um, his special, like he had these clips where he would say, "Hey, turn." He would say something crazy and then say, "Hey, turn your phone," which is saying spend some more time watching the full video, which is the smartest marketing on his part. Um, but he would pretty much just go off on like something crazy that happened that week. But so then his special was a 2020 like roundup, and he just went in on everything, and it was so satisfying to watch for me because you see somebody who goes from just creating videos, like high quality videos, and as a comedian, and like you see him just like talk shit about every sort of like daily like big corporation, um and for him to well, I mean, he was talking shit about it now that I think about this, but like he wasn't like disclosed um on putting his content on a streaming platform. But from seeing him going like that and kind of speak it into an existence, and act on it was just like really cool for me. I can't wait to get my merch from him, dude. I can't wait to get my merch from him. So that's it. I don't know if this one's gonna be a shorter podcast or what. It was kind of more fun. Just know, if you listen to this podcast religiously, I just have to say thank you. 2021, I'm hoping to make it a huge year. I need to collaborate more with people. I need to do other people's podcasts. I will fly out to do a podcast with somebody. I will spend my own money. I'll bring my stuff to you and we can do a podcast from my channel. All right? I'm just saying. It's honestly, my stuff is very small and I could take it anywhere. So if you want me to fly out to you and do a podcast, dude, honestly, just leave it in the comments or hit me up at you might be surprised with 2ds at gmail.com. All right? Hit me up, and if it's worth my time, I will fly out on a weekend and we can do a podcast. All right? 1, content. 2, cool. 3, friendship. Come on, bro. Come on. It's a win-win for both of us. But with that being said, I'm going to end the podcast here. I hope everyone had an amazing New Year's Eve. Shout out to 2021. Good riddance to 2020. And actually, here, I have this last sip. Here's to 2021. I can't wait to see what it brings for me. I can't wait to see what it brings for all of you guys. And yeah, follow my socials, YMBS Chris and YMBS. That's YMBS Chris. I'll say it twice because I'm dumb. YMBS Chris 3 times, man. YMBS Chris. That's 4 on Twitter and Instagram. You might be surprised. You can find that on all platforms, especially where the podcasts are available. And on Instagram, I post clips to get people to go to the podcast. But here's to 2021. I hope it's better than 2020. And at least we get to know that there's aliens. That's the one thing I'm looking forward to. I've been Chris. You've been beautiful. Peace, guys.